Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought, since December is kind of wrapping up, end of the year is wrapping up, we would do my top 10 reads of 2023. It feels kind of crazy that the year is already over, and when I looked back on some of the books that I've read this whole year, I think it was honestly a pretty good reading year for me. I think I had a lot of like 4-star reads for a majority of the year. Let's see. I forget that. I think Goodreads tells you your average rating. Or Storygraph does. Hold on. So my average rating according to Storygraph is 4.08. So most of my ratings were pretty high, I would say. I enjoyed a lot of the books this year. So picking a top 10 was kind of hard. Especially like when you look back at some of the things that you read towards the beginning of the year, trying to remember details and what specific things you loved about them. I don't know, it's a little hard, but I have come up with 10 books that I'm going to say are my top favorites of this year. And that does not mean that these books came out this year. This just means that I simply read them this year. And I don't think this is going to be in any particular order because some of these I can't remember when I read them. I have a good estimation on when I read them because 2 of them are from this month. And then 2 are, I believe, are from September or October, I want to say. So first up, we have Play With Me by Becca Mack. And I do have this special cover that Cover to Cover did of this. I absolutely love this. I don't know if you can tell or not with my lighting, but it's a little sparkly at the bottom. Me trying to get it to show. And of course, it did come with like photos of them, which I love. It's so cute. But this is the second book in the Vancouver Vipers series. And this is Jenny and Garrett's book. And I really love this because Jenny was like, she's the type of girl that I personally like female characters to be. Like, she stands up for herself. She stands up for others. She holds her ground. Like, she doesn't let people get to her really. And she's kind of like a badass in a way. I loved her and Garrett. And I loved that Garrett kind of knew that so Jenny's brother is Carter, and Carter is in the first book of the series. And Carter is like a superstar basically. He's a super well-known hockey player. And Jenny is kind of always been behind the scenes. And she kind of keeps to herself more. And she has her guard up more because she, in the past, had people that would try to be friends with her or try to date her just to get to her brother because he is so famous. And in a way, she kind of felt like her own family kind of put her on the back burner too. And then I like that Garrett kind of put a spotlight on her. It was all about her and was like, even though he was already friends with Carter, he specifically told her multiple times that like it was just her for him. And I feel like they meshed really well. And I will say, Garrett is blonde. If you couldn't tell in the photo, he's got blonde hair, which blonde love interest, you know, they rarely get their time to shine. But I'm telling you, Garrett is one that shines. I love this book. I know I rated it 5 stars. I want to do a reread of it so bad. I just loved every minute of this. Next up, one of my favorite books of the year was Twisted Games by Anna Huang. Once again, the second book in a series. Apparently, I'm just the second book lover, not the first one in the series. Doesn't do it for me. Which actually is not true, because looking at this pile, I have 2 books that are first in series. No, I have 3 books that are first in series. So, not always true. But for now, we're focusing on the second book. I don't remember what the series is called. Is it just the Twisted series? Oh, yeah. It literally says it on the cover. Read, Courtney, literally read the cover. So this is book 2 in the Twisted series, and this is Bridget and Reese's book. And Bridget is a princess in line for the throne, and Reese is her bodyguard. And this is definitely like a bodyguard romance trope. And I loved every minute of it. I feel like how gentle and careful and like calculated Bridget was, since, you know, she's in the public eye. She's stepping up to be next in the throne. She has to be very careful with her decisions, and she's very clear-minded, direct, but still like has a gentle touch that people need. I feel like Reese was the complete opposite of that. Like, he meshed with her in that way, like they were opposites, but in a way that like worked together to solve things. So Reese was he was also direct, but he was very like guarded, protective, not gentle at all. But he was also so very dedicated to her, not only because he was like obviously her bodyguard, so you kind of have to be, but there is a moment in time where he's not really her bodyguard and he's still kind of looking out for her. They do start off kind of not liking each other, and it's a little bit of not enemies to lovers, kind of like dislike to lovers. And it is, so I guess it's dislike to lovers, bodyguard trope, kind of forbidden romance in a way. I believe there is an age gap a little bit. But I loved this one so much. I'm so glad I picked the series back up. And then I stopped there with the series. I haven't read book 3 or 4. I think I'm going to start maybe in January trying to get back into the series because I really want to finish it. Because I do want to start her next series that's coming out. I do have the first 2 books, I think, in that series. And I know that like some of the cast or the characters in these are mentioned in those. So I do want to get through all of them. But this was definitely my favorite of the series so far, and I'm pretty sure from the descriptions that I read this will stay my favorite of the series. But 5 stars. I loved it. If you know the glove scene, you know. The gloves and heels. Love it. And then I'm going to mention the next 2 together because they are in the same series. So I have book 1 and book 3 from the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. So here is Brutal Prince and then Savage Lover. These were so good, by far my favorites of the series. For me, the series kind of went downhill after the 3rd book, but I loved the first 3, but these were the standouts from that. So this is kind of a mafia romance. It is the Griffins and the Gallows. They are both mafia families and they kind of have it out for each other. And essentially something happens with the Gallows and the Griffins that they basically make a arranged marriage between Callum and Ada to basically combine the families and combine the power and kind of put the past in the past and settle things between the 2 families. And this definitely is enemies to lovers. Ada and Callum cannot stand each other in the beginning, and I loved that so much. Like, the tension in this book is everything. And if you need something to read this, like a little taste or whatever, so the day of their wedding, she eats strawberries before they have to kiss. Well, Callum is allergic to strawberries, so starting off on a rocky foot, but it is so like fun to read. And just like reading it, I could see the story in my head like very clearly, like it was a movie playing. The back and forth between these 2 was just, it was everything I needed in that time. And I would still like, this makes me want to reread it talking about it because it was so good. The tension. If you could take on it, I was gonna say if you could take one book from this that you would want to read, make it this one. But They're all good. They're all my favorites. That's why they're on this video. It's fine. But 5 stars. And then we have Savage Lover, which is the 3rd book in the series. And this is Camila and Nero's book. And this basically was very Fast and Furious vibes, but with like mafia romance added in. Just sprinkle a little. And for once, it's kind of like a switch on like the stereotype of the guy's the mechanic. And this one, Camila is the mechanic. And she is great. She is fierce and fabulous and everything a female character needs to be. And then Nero is so focused on her that like it kind of takes over his world. Like he is very much like cold to everyone else, including his own family. They've known each other, but now that they had a moment to like kind of click and get to know each other, he's like, yep, she's it for me. I'm done. Love her. And he communicates with her in a way that he has never communicated with anyone before. And I don't know how much I can rave about this. Like, it was so good. Definitely my 2nd favorite in the series. I'm so glad I read the series to get these 2 books from it. They were just so fab. I did rate this one 5 stars as well. Read it. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize now because all this is going to be me screaming at you to read these books. Because I love them. And I hope that is coming through this. That I love these books so much. And then this one will surprise no one that's on here. I had to throw on a fantasy because, you know, why not? Next one is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Who would have guessed? I loved Fourth Wing, and I especially love this extended edition that has Xaden's point of view in it. Oh my gosh. There's only a couple of chapters with it. His point of view, but it was everything I needed to like just to have his point of view, which I wish we had it more in Iron Flame since she included some in this. Like, I need more. I love his thoughts. I will not spiel about what all this is about for the millionth time. I'm pretty sure there's 2 videos on my channel. One specifically for Fourth Wing and one specifically for Iron Flame. And then they're in a bunch of recap videos and such like that. Like, I don't need to rave anymore than I already have about this. But it was just everything. It was so great. Fourth Wing really made me kind of get my spark back for fantasy. I have never been... I don't think I've ever been that hooked immediately to a fantasy read like I have for Fourth Wing. It was just everything. And it's not even just the romance in it. It's the side characters in it. It's everything. Like, it's the atmosphere. It's how clearly I can picture a movie in my head from this. It makes me want to get deeper into fantasy. So one of my goals for next year is to read more fantasy, and I hope I will stick with that. But 5 stars. Love, love, love. If you haven't already seen this a million times, there you go. And then I have probably one of my most anticipated releases of the year for me, which was The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I was so nervous when this came out that it wasn't going to like live up the hype. I wasn't going to live up to the hype from the Off-Campus series, because that was just such a beloved series. And even for me personally, I loved that series, and I think I binged that whole series within 1 week. It was just so good. It was like I could read one of those a day and be set. Not only just from like the romances, but it's definitely like very much like found family and just this community that you just want to keep reading about and enjoy. It was so good. So now that we are getting their children's books, I was a little nervous about it. So this is Gigi Graham, which is Garrett and Hannah from Off Campus. It's their kid. And this is Gigi and Ryder's book. This was everything. This was so good. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm laughing because I don't know how to describe how good it was for me. And I know, like, obviously reading's objective, and like, I might think this is the greatest thing, and then you go and read it and you're like, what are you even talking about? This is not good at all. In my personal opinion, in my reading taste specifically, I love this book. And I am so excited for the rest of this series. One thing in books that I really love is like banter. Like I want characters going back and forth and like, I don't know, being able to kind of like pester each other but like joke. And they were just perfect for that. The banter between them was everything. And then Gigi pretending like she didn't know who Garrett Graham was while Ryder's like a little fanboy of him was just everything. That I will say the like ending of it was a little like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this, but I didn't hate it. I actually really enjoyed it. I loved it. That's all you need to know. 5 stars. Fabulous. And the last book, number 10, is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. And honestly, this one kind of took me by surprise. For how much I loved it, I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. Which, it's crazy too, because I am basically placing this higher than the Chestnut Springs series. Because I read all of the Chestnut Springs series this year, and I'm still saying, like, this is in my top 10 over Chestnut Springs. And that's kind of wild to me. I think it's because it's shorter. And I feel like it was more direct to the point, maybe. But this is Emmy and Luke's book. And Emmy basically gets injured, so she comes home from... She was a... Oh my gosh. Me skipping over parts. So, Emmy was a... Like, oh... I don't know if she was a barrel racer or something. She does something horse related, okay? She gets injured. She comes home to her family, and that's where she sees Luke. Luke is basically kind of in the family now, but he is... grew up with them. He's like a childhood friend, but he doesn't really have family around. So they've kind of like adopted him in over the years. So they do know each other. But there's never been like a crazy like flirty banter or anything between them until she comes back. And he sees her struggling and is trying to help her, but he knows that she's not going to accept help if it's given to her in like a kind of like a pity way. Like she wants to earn it. She wants to do it herself. She wants to conquer things herself. She wants to take charge. And he understands that and he kind of accommodates for that. So I really, really enjoyed. Like he doesn't want her to like weaken herself or like he only wants to make her better. He wants to help. What is it called? Like boost her up. He wants to like, what is it called? I don't know. I can't think of it. But he basically wants her to conquer her fears, get back on the circuit if she wants that. If she doesn't want that, he's fine with whatever she wants and he'll work around that. It was so good. The angst and the tension and just everything. Just the whole storyline was just so good. And I used to not be a fan of cowboy romances, so this year has definitely really taken me for a surprise that a cowboy romance is in my top 10. But it is. 5 stars. I love this. I devoured this in one day. At least I think it was one day. Loved. Love, 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 love. Oh, I just realized that's not even all 10 books because 3 of the books, I don't have the physical copy with me. I think they're downstairs. So, hold on. Me thinking the video is over. And I was like, wow, I'm doing really well for time management. No. Nope. Another type of book that I never thought was going to be my top 10 is a slow burn romance. But here we are. So, the next book is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I love this book. There's so much tension, and it is a ice skating romance. And basically, I don't remember what happens with Lukov's partner, but I don't remember if she gets injured or if there's an argument or what. But basically, either way, he's looking for a replacement, him and his manager. And essentially, they want to pick Jasmine. Well, of course, Jasmine's going to say yes. Lukov is this, like, world-renowned known skater. He's won titles, championships, whatever. He's won it all. So, she, of course, says yes, even though she knows that he doesn't like her. Or so she thinks. This is definitely a slow burn. Like, I don't think they even kiss until, I want to say, either 85% of the book or 90% of the book. Like, it is slow burn. But it is so good. The, like, tension in it. And just, once again, the banter. They are able to, like, give it to each other, basically. They were, like, so sassy and grumpy and just everything I needed in characters. I will say the only thing I wasn't, like, 100% sure of was his nickname for her, which is Meatball. That one's a little lost on me still, but I chose to ignore it. So it's still 5 stars for me. I don't care. I can ignore stuff like that. It will not faze me. And then we are going more towards the horror book route. So, Hidden Pictures by Jason, I'm going to butcher the last name, Rekuluk. This was a book club reading pick back in, like, April for me. I love this, as in, like, a spooky, like, scary, thrillery horror book love, not like romance love, like, oh my gosh, I could read this over and over. I don't think I could read this over and over. I think it would give me nightmares, to be honest. And also, sorry, I was reading the notes on this, and I just realized this is the book where, she is, like, babysitting for this family, and the family kind of is a little off. And basically the kid that she is babysitting, which she lives there as, like, a home sitter, I don't know what it's called, I forget. A live-in nanny, so she lives in the back, like, cabin thing that they have. It's separate from the house. But, so she watches the kid throughout the day. And basically, the child likes to draw pictures a lot. And the pictures actually are telling a story. And she starts to figure it out and clicks in her head that even the kid is so young that it's not, like, clicking in their head that something's happened to them. But the story is telling them. So she finally sees the pictures and she's starting to, like, line it up and click things in place. One of the pictures that this child draws is a hot air balloon. And I have a hot air balloon tattooed on me. And I was like, okay, there was no need for that. But I don't want to spoil what happens. So just know things aren't what it seems. And there is a truth that is revealed. I will say the, like, guilty party at the end really surprised me because I kept thinking it was one of 2 people. Like, it had to be one of them. And I was wrong. They were just creepy. They were just normal creepy, not, like, creepy, I guess. But I rated that one 4 stars. But it was so good. And it's still something that I, like, think back to. Maybe because it's a little creepy, but... And the last book, the actual last book this time, is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I did rate this one 5 stars. And this one is kind of based off a similar story. And it's basically Lenora Hope has been accused of, like, basically killing everyone in her family. But there's no proof. So she has been given the innocence. She has been basically proven innocent because there is no proof that any of this happened. There is no proof that she did any of it or anything like that. So there were so many twists, and this was such, like, an eerie read. Like, everything about this house was eerie. And this housekeeper, I want to say, home like healthcare person, Kit McDeary, my bad. But Kit is basically a home healthcare person, and she has come to help take care of Lenora, since Lenora is now, I believe that she's in her 80s, I want to say. That's what they said. But the second Kit steps foot in this place, you're already like, this place is so freaking creepy. Every single person in this house is creepy because she still has like staff there. There's like a housekeeper, a gardener, just like someone who's like in charge for affairs, everything. And they're all freaking creepy. Like there's something off about all of them. So you're like, who's the guilty one? Who did it? And the twist at the end really did get me. I did not see it coming. Because I kept thinking it was going... Like, I was kind of, I guess, half right, but not in the way that I thought it was. And I know that's not a helpful explanation, but that's the only way I can explain it without, like, spoiling it. Well, let's just say not everyone is who you think they are. So that is officially all of my top reads of the year. All 10. And going through it all makes me want to reread pretty much all of them again. I just love them. I love reading. Comment below and let me know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are, if you loved it, if you hated it. Either way, I won't take offense, I promise. I definitely know reading's subjective, and you know, what I love you might not, and what you love I might not, and that's okay. I personally like seeing other opinions, and it's not going to sway me either way. My mind has been made up on what I like and what I don't like. So, but comment down below. Let me know if you read any of these and what your thoughts were. See if we have any of the same top reads. That'd be really cool. And once again, I would like to thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, watching my videos, all of that. It really means a lot to me. I'm excited to provide more content for you guys, and I'm hoping to have a better handle on it in 2024, which kind of feels weird to say, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to follow me on any of my socials or anything like that, they are all linked down below. And thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.